We can start now. I'm so sorry that we had to change the course of the motion. I don't know. Is it okay? Can everybody hear me on YouTube? Can everybody hear me here? Reverend, can you start? Can you hear us? Can you go ahead?
Am I audible?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, okay. So maybe I just try to begin from where I started, summarize that, and I'll be expecting the questions of people, maybe what they want to say, and I'll answer them to the best that I can. So I said in the year 2023, my family we came into Portugal in October to be specific, and we came together. And I told you that I applied based on the fact that I had an organization registered in Portugal. It was like an extension of the one we had in Nigeria. And that was what we came here with. I've not really seen any other person um, maybe coming via that route. I'm not saying that there are no other people. I know there are definitely some people that probably might have done that. But that was how I came into Portugal. And it's just majorly like what we could call an investment route. And I think I was trying to buttress something there, or maybe make reference to something then that probably this is just one of the reasons why you may be hearing Jackpot Nation speaking that, oh, after vocational school, what next? And probably because uh, we cannot say because one, two, or three people came through vocational school, got their visa, and that maybe that is a go-to route to come into Portugal for probably some people that could be listening to me and maybe are considering that for maybe some friends or whatever. And getting into the country, I think I've mentioned some things in relation to this before. It is a gradual process. It's a new terrain, new people, new culture, new language, new settings, new policy, everything new. And when we got here, we just took the challenge of getting to know that, oh, number one, we are here as a family, so we need to relate as a family. So, myself as a husband, I always try to be at the top of affairs in the home and, in every aspect, as small as it could be. I try my best to give my wife every form of support she needs. I don't leave the housework for her to do because where we are, it's not the best. There is someone that lived with us back in Nigeria. Her name is Precious. We could just easily call her Precious. Please do this, Precious, do that, and everything. But we don't have Precious here. We just have ourselves, children here. And so we've been working together as a team for close to 2 years now. And when we came into Portugal, my first son, my first son was 5 years old. My first son was 5 years old, and definitely based on the laws of the nation, we had to quickly begin to see. We had to quickly begin to see how we could put him in school because he cannot just be sleeping and waking up every day and in the house. So we had to secure him in a school, and he did what we know as preschool in Portugal. I've mentioned something related to this. A friend of ours who we met in Portugal, we didn't know the person prior to this time. We didn't know the person prior to this time. We didn't know the person prior to this time, but that was the person that had to use our address to be able to put our son in the school. Because in Portugal, if you don't have an address, it will be very difficult to do some things. And in Portugal, we call that proof of address. Please, are you still with me?
Yes, they can hear you. Yes.
Okay, okay. In Portugal, we call that proof of address morada. We call it morada. They'll tell you need a morada or junta document, junta de freguesia. Junta de freguesia is parish council. Parish council, that's just like a local government that can identify with you. So for some of us who are on the platform, somebody like Mary, who has already gotten a NIF, I want to assure you that you've already scaled through one of the obstacles that you may go through in Portugal. So we had to use that person's address to be able to get a school for my firstborn. As at that time, my second born was 2 years old, so there was no rush about him. He was at home, and already by the time my son was going to finish the preschool, which was the last year, I think September, no, not September, around July. As at that time, he was already speaking Portuguese. He was already swimming and, doing some other activities like that. And by April, I think April last year also, because I had already gotten my NIF passwords and some other things like that, we were able to register our son. And already that time we had our junta documents. We could register our son for primary school, basic. They call it basic here. Already ready to register for basic school. So all these things are just, things you do step by step. NIF. After your NIF, you get your NIS. After your NIS is a número identificação segurança social. That's your segurança is security, social. So social security identification number. That is NIS. Anytime you hear people mentioning NIS, that NISS, that is your social security number. And after that, you get the number known as UTENT. 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 Sorry, UTENTE. UTENT is also known as a SNS. SNS. That's your medical number and your junta. Those are like the four most important documents in Portugal. So if you have been able to get one, you have just three to go. And I want to say congratulations to you. And now, uh, fast forward a bit, I'm just trying to summarize some experiences. My wife searching for jobs because, yes, I have a registered organization in Portugal, which also has its own NIF and, every other thing. But I need money to run the organization. I need the money to run the organization, to run my family. So one way or the other, probably my wife needs to work, and even I myself, I need to also take up another job. So at one point in time, she started searching for jobs. I also started searching for jobs. Search here, search there, search there. And one counsel or one thing I can say I learned in Portugal, especially maybe if it is husband and wife that come together, even if it is husband, wife, and children that come together, especially if you've not stayed for so long, maybe it's just till 3, 4, 6 months, 8 months, or something like that. Don't be too rigid about where you are going to reside. You can be in Aveiro, for instance. Now I stay excuse me. I stayed in Aveiro. But at a point in time, we had to leave Aveiro. Presently, I'm in where is known as Estareja. Estareja is 15 minutes by train from Aveiro. And by the grace of God, since we got to Estareja, I can point to some remarkable things that happened to my family. So, at times in your journey in Portugal, where you are located could affect what you are experiencing. I hope you are getting what I'm saying, because some areas in Portugal, they are more localized than each other. Some are very, very rigid on the language. Oh, language this, language that. But some, they don't really care about the language. Then some, they are more of office work, office. Some other places, they are more of industrial work. Those are places where you find companies, factories, and everything. And for men generally, even for women too, factories, companies, they mostly readily employ people. And I want to also try to prepare your mind ahead that if you get to Portugal, you may need to do a factory work, maybe as a first job. And over time, as you settle down, works like maybe remote job, customer service, teleperformance, some of all these things, they will now begin to come to be. So I want to preach flexibility to you at this point. Look, it's not as hard as we may think it is. 8 hours a day, and after 8 hours, you rest. You get what I'm saying? So at a point in time, I'm the one who first of all got a job. It was a temporary job, and after the full time of the job, I mean the full term of the job, it lapsed. At the point in time, I didn't have something I was doing, like a job again. Later, my wife got a job. You understand? I pray for each and every one of us because I'm also a pastor. That the grace of God and His mercy will speak for us. And we've been going through, but I, as a person too, I didn't relent. I'm also an entrepreneur. I'm a business person. I do a lot of e-commerce, e-marketing, and some of all those things. So some of my services, some of my activities also, I still run them even from here in Nigeria. So I still get some little change here and there. Maybe when questions begin to come up, I will maybe speak more and say some more things. Also, I have kept on saying this to us on the platform. When you come to Portugal, yes, we know that there are village witches, there are village whatever. But when you get here, please befriend the people you see, the Nigerian community. And apart from that, please don't joke with the locals. Don't joke with them. They are your landlords. They are the people that are welcoming you. Don't be abusing them in your mind. Àwọn òyìnbó yẹn and all this and all that. Try to be friends with them. You will see Brazilians there. You will see Colombians. You will see Venezuelans. You will see many of these people. They are the ones that will share secrets with you. Many a times they are the ones that will buy things for your children. They are the ones that will even buy things for your family. I pray for each and every one of us that as we are planning to embark on this journey, we will find grace, we will find mercy, and we will find the favor of God in the name of Jesus. By the grace of God, already my son is in primary one. By end of this year, he will be in primary two. And to be candid, my son is already a speaker of Portuguese. My second son is already in pre-escolar. They call it pre-escolar, preschool, and already is gradually learning. Some of us that may be afraid, you'll be asking on the group, please, where can I get a primary school with taught in English? You don't need any primary school taught in English. You don't need any primary school taught in English. Let your children come. Let them learn Portuguese. You be speaking English to them. Put on English cartoons for them and everything. You don't know what your children can become tomorrow in Portugal. And I also want to say this to you on this platform, that as you are preparing to come to Portugal, just prepare your mind that you will stay in Portugal. It is your choice, but prepare that you will stay and you will be even a citizen of this country, especially your children. Especially your children. A lot of blacks are doing great things for these countries in the world. Look at what Victor Osimhen is doing all around the world. There are so many countries that want this guy to become their national. I believe you understand what I'm trying to say. And this language they are learning is an added advantage. Tomorrow they may want to do something in America, they will need somebody that speaks Portuguese. Your children will be the ones that will represent them. So I think for now, this is just what I want to say. And by the grace of God, uh, God has helped my wife and God has helped us. We've not reached there. We've not reached there, but he has been faithful to us. And I don't want you to ever, ever undermine the place of prayer. Prayer will always be a key. I don't know what religion you might be on this platform, whether you're a Christian, whether you're a Muslim, whether you're even a traditionalist. Please don't undermine prayer. Prayer works. So for now, let me just pause and I would like to answer maybe the questions you may have, about family, even about maybe business registration in Portugal, whatever it is, some general things about family, business. It could even be your NIF or maybe some of those processes that we did. For instance, I think 2 months after we got to Portugal, I fell ill. I've never been exposed to such kind of cold before. So I developed a flu. I went to Aveiro Hospital. If in case you are interested in knowing maybe if you fall sick in the country, maybe what happens, maybe I can share more of that experience with you. But for now, let me just pause. Thank you very much. And please don't mind my voice. As Japan Nation said, it has been raining for about some days and it has been cold. And I think that's what's affected my voice. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the introduction. We are really grateful. So I see comment on the group, and the same comment from Riverside is going on the YouTube. It's a great platform, and it makes my life easier. So if we have in next time we're having like 4 guests, it's easy for them to not show their face or show their face. So it's easy. Also, please be mindful in the comment section. Like, who is this person? Laughing TV. He said, Lori Portugal, I don't understand your comment, man. Like, nobody understand your comment. Remember, you're in a public space. Learn to, like, guard your thoughts. You don't have to comment on everything. There is something called wakapas. You can see something you don't like, you don't have to say nothing. So stop putting comments that is not deserving online. Okay. And also we have questions. So Reverend, we have questions. The first one that I see is from Onyi. Onyi is asking, from your experience, Reverend, do you encourage going as a couple together or going first and the spouse joining later? And please know, guys, remember that we always say it on the WhatsApp group that you need to do your research. So if somebody gives you advice, they're just giving you advice based on their own thoughts. So you as a family, I mean you and your husband and your kids need to sit together and still make decision. Okay. So Reverend, please, can you answer that questions first?
Okay. This is a big question, or let me say a wonderful question. All right, I will answer this question this way. Going as a couple, or going as an individual, or going as a family, let me say it depends on your strength. I mean, the strength of the family depends on the strength of the family, and this strength boils down to financial strength, emotional strength, physical strength, everything that can make one strong, it goes to everything. You understand? So if you've been able to sit down and you know the level of your strength in every ramification, you'll be the better person to judge if you can go as one or somebody goes first. But if it is possible, one person can come, and after the person comes, it doesn't take long. So far the person has the resident card, the person can bring in the other members of the family. So it's a two-way thing. If you are strong enough, you can come in together. Nothing stops you. I came in with my wife and my wonderful two sons into Portugal. And by the grace of God, we've been able to, navigate. The challenges came, but one way or the other, we've been able to scale through the challenges. But, as I said, based on your strength, one should not overstretch him or herself. If you won't be able to cope with it, somebody can come first, and before you know it, the other people will come and join. I think this is the answer I have for you.
Thank you, sir. If you're not convinced with the answer, you can also ask it in another way. It's also fine. The next question would be, let me see. For kids who are already in secondary school and speak only English, what can we do?
For kids, okay, probably if that person could comment again, but even without the comment, I will continue. Maybe the age of that kid. But as I said, let me continue. Children learn fast. Children learn fast. And I'll continue to emphasize this. Don't be too bothered. I don't want to say concerned, because there is a difference between being concerned about something and being bothered. Something can be your concern, but you may not be bothered. Being bothered means to the level of being anxious or worried. So don't be worried about maybe the language your child will speak. Even a child who is already in secondary school, I think it is even advantageous, because already the child already has a good knowledge of English. So if this child can learn Portuguese, I'm telling you, it is a great advantage to that child. Before you know it, this child will be speaking the language. I know some children in Portugal, because as I've been saying it, you need to be friends with everybody. I have some friends that are secondary school children. You may not believe it. I have some friends secondary school. I saw one of them just this week that ended. Her name is Nicole. She's schooling in Aveiro. You know, so many of these children, they come from maybe Spanish speaking countries. Some of them come from like India, and they've spent just 1 year or a bit over 1 year, and they're already speaking Portuguese. So the children, they learn the language fast. We, the parents, are the ones that have challenge in learning. So don't be too bothered. That's what I'll say about that one. They will cope. They will.
Okay, let me add one thing or two to that. For people who have kids in secondary school, I used to be a high school teacher, so I know that teenagers can be a whole handful. But it, let's look at it this way: they are learning another language. So I feel like we will also have to be a participant, despite the fact that we are also struggling to, you know, to adapt to a new country. We also have to watch them, because if we ignore teenagers in a small moment, they can start following other people. Do you understand? So, um, make sure you talk to their teachers. If you're sure that they are coming with you right now in September, put them on Duolingo, put them on Memrise, let them do it as assignment at home, watch their progress, and by the time they land in Portugal, they probably might face teenagers like to bully each other, right? But I don't feel like anybody can bully a Nigerian child. You need to instill that in your child. Like, you are not a bully spectacle. Nobody can bully you. Don't bully other people too. Be staying in your this thing. I'm sure there are support groups for immigrant children too. So make sure that you are with the teachers, you talk to the teachers, you have some time to get their phone number. I'm sure they have email correspondences to monitor what is going on with your child. But generally, children tend to adapt faster than us. But if you have teenagers right now, please put them on Duolingo or put them on Memrise. Let them be doing it as if pay is assignment. Let me add that. So let's add that to what Reverend said. And the second part of Ms. Jackie's question is, for most of us planning to come in around August, September intake, when can we enroll the kids in school? Before Reverend we answer this question, somebody gave us a tip on this question in the main group and I stole the answer. So I think for small kids, they were told to come between April and May, and so that that's when they're opened for fresh registration. And for fresh students, I mean, starting from kindergarten, all that is needed is parents' passports, the child's passport photo, birth certificate. So please don't forget your children's birth certificate and some other Portuguese document, maybe health insurance and stuff. Then for an older child, she said she was asked to bring a transcribed transcript of evidence of classes attended. So if you have children in primary school, don't or secondary school, don't forget to collect all of their results. If you don't have it now, please go and start collecting from the teachers from the school. Pile up of all of their results. Try to scan it somewhere for to save it, so that you don't lose the document. But paper documents are also important, and you will need to, maybe if they want you to translate it to Portuguese, you can do that when you enter here. And authenticated. They also said it has to be authenticated. So I don't know how that is. So maybe you take it to Ministry of Education. I've never had to do that, or I don't know about that for older kids, but this person was talking from experience. So then when you come in, you go to the school administration close to you and prepare for April. So those are for people starting in kindergarten. But for an older child, if there is space, they should be immediately absorbed while waiting for document presentation. So if there is space, your older secondary school child or late primary school child can be absorbed. That's what the person said. But this is this person's experience, and the experience in your own city might be different. So I will still give it to Reverend from his own personal experience. If they are coming in for September, August, September, when do you think that they can enroll the kids from your experience? Is Reverend there? Hello?
Okay, okay. Yeah, so you said it. So for people who are planning to come to Portugal, the time you begin to do applications for school is around March ending April into May. That's when the portal is opened. So except people like that, maybe you have somebody already in Portugal, maybe a relation, and one way or the other, you're just trying to, I mean, maybe you use them to find a way to maneuver that, you get. So, but really, it's better to be on ground in Portugal to do the search for yourself around that time. If you come in September, October, don't worry. It's just a matter of maybe 3, 4 months after that. You'll be able to do another search. Your children will be in school. So that's how it's done.
Okay, thank you for that. So don't worry, it will just be a matter of months, because also you have to settle yourself first. You need to get your permit and maybe your kids' permit, especially the NIS, which is the social security, and the health. What is the other one? The health insurance. So those are important things that you need to focus on. Your kids can still have their books from Nigeria and still study at home. There are people that homeschool their kids, right? So it's not that worrisome. Somebody said you're talking about secondary school. That's there's always someone when they start school to help them with Portuguese. It's not their first language, but also this depends on the school you choose. So Mr. Jeb Lewis has answered your question. There will be somebody in the class possibly helping kids that are transitioning. So don't worry about that. Another question from someone is: would you advise a wife and a husband to travel to Portugal with a 4 month old baby? Is it something that is feasible?
Okay, so hello.
Yes, we can hear you. Just go ahead.
Okay. There's nothing wrong in traveling with a there's nothing wrong in traveling with a 4 months old baby. You know, just all you just need to do is just to yes, all you just need to do is just to uh get the basic things that the baby will need. You know yourself, and yeah, good to go. Maybe because of maybe you're coming around the cold time. Just make sure you get warm clothings, probably the necessary medics. I believe you understand what I'm talking, that the child could need. Not that you want to administer, you bring some of those things from Nigeria. Some of those things that may be necessary. Bring them, because before you may have access to be able to get in the stuff from here, it could be some time. So just bring a few of those things with you, and I believe definitely God will take control. You understand? So there's really nothing much in bringing your 4 months baby here. The child will cope.
Just to add to that, you need to consult your healthcare provider, by meaning that talk to your nurse and doctor in Nigeria. Can we fly with the 4 month old baby? Does the airline, people fly from US when they go get their, birth citizenship, they fly back, right? So you still need to ask doctor, please, what can we do? What should we prepare? So make sure we told you that on YouTube. Oh, please talk to your healthcare provider about your precious child. We are traveling with this child is 4 months old. What should we prepare? Okay. And if you arrive in Portugal and if something goes on that you don't have insurance, does not mean that you should not call the emergency. Okay. It might cost you a little more money, but it's still your child. You want your child to feel better. So please remember that we said that. Okay. And let me see another question. The other question is: how long does it take to get a work permit in Portugal? Answer: talk about the process involved too. So, Reverend, who wants to go first?
Okay, let me go first, then you maybe add to what I say. So it's quite funny to me anyway when I see some videos, or should I call it vlogs, whichever one applies better, on YouTube, on TikTok, where some people say they can help people to get work permits. I just laugh because there is really nobody. I don't know. That's why I said the Japan nation should speak after me. There is really nobody who will say that you are seated in Nigeria and somebody is helping you to get a work permit in Portugal. Because the work permit I know in Portugal is your card, your residence card. The moment you get your residence card, you can work in Portugal. And nobody can say this is really how long it will take for you to get your residence card. Probably we could just say, okay, maybe your first 6 months to 1 year, maybe average of first 6 months to a year. And I think that is why many a times they advise people to come with resources of maybe about 6 months to a year when they are traveling. And they should come with resources of about 6 months to a year when they are traveling. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So because for some people they already have the IMA appointment on their visa. There are some that don't have the IMA appointment. They'll have to get the appointment here. And it is when you have your card that really you can work without stress. A lot of jobs that will even be stressless to get, they will ask you for ordinary a card. And if you don't have the card, you cannot work. So basically, to me, it's like your work permit is your residence card. You get, and nobody can do a residence card for you from Nigeria. So that is just what so I'll just put maybe 6 months to a year for processing in it.
I think Reverend is right. The only reason I wanted him to talk also, to choose who's to talk first, is because we came in different time and different visa and different year. I wish there was another person that could join us, but he doesn't have time till like 30 minutes time because he came January 2025. So he knows better. Like he has the latest updates you get. So like he said, prepare yourself 1 to 6 months. This is why we say 1 to 6 months. When you get the visa, you have 120 days on that visa. They will write it there, 120 days. And on some people's visa, they will put the appointment date. On some, they will not put it. Appointment date means that the day, if you log it on a computer, you will see the date of your work permit or student permit or resident permit appointment. So once you log it in, you can see the date and start preparing. It's always between that 120 days. And if we count 120 days, that is 4 months, right? So once you go for the appointment, some people cannot find their card for the next 6 months, even though they've gone for appointment. Some 3 months, some 2 months, some people 5 days. When I came, they told me the girl that I met in my school, she's also PhD. She told me that, oh, when she went for the appointment, it only took 5 days. I was like, wow, that's not what I've been hearing. And in my mind, I was like, oh God, please, as you did it for so person, please do it for me. And just like I said it, I went for my appointment. It came in 4 days. It came to my landlord's hand, and my landlord held it for like 3 days. So I didn't get it for like a week. So mine took like a week. And I've seen people's own that took 1 month, 2 weeks. So it depends. That's why we say bring enough money that will hold you for the next 1 to 6 months, because we don't want you to go through hardship while you can still gather money. You understand? And what is the somebody said, what is the process involved? There's no big process. Once you get your visa, it's either you have that link on your visa or not. If you don't have the link, you come in, you get your NIF, you go and queue, you queue 7 a.m. You go and get your NIF. Once you get your NIF, you get your NIS. Once you get your NIS, then sometimes they will say they will not give you NIS without permit. I don't know the nonsense. In some districts, it's really awkward. But you need those three documents: NIS, NIF, and NIS is Social Security, NIF is tax,
Yes.
and the other one is the healthcare SNS. So once you have those three, for me, I didn't have my SNS permanent number. I only had the temporary one. But they still took my appointment at the appointment office. So if you look at my card, it doesn't have the SNS number, which it should. But that does not mean that I didn't get my SNS permanent number later. So if I go and renew my card now, it will have everything. The next card will have everything because now I have everything. So let's go to the next question. The person said, um, and just to add, it's not really called work permit. They call it there's a name that they call it. It gives you professional to be able to work and to stay and to study. So if you're a student, it says that you can study and you can work. So maybe for work permit people, it actually says the same thing. So I want us to be careful of the terminologies, because maybe we are copying some terminologies from another country, like all those dependent and non-dependent. We don't really have something like that in that term. So let's be careful with the terminologies. The next question is more like an advice. I have a master's in early childhood education. If I come to do a PhD in education, will I find a suitable job, or would you advise I take a management course instead? This question is still going to be for you. Do you think you can have a good job in management with a PhD? Because let me tell you something about the workforce. Yes, you can get a job with your BSc as a Portuguese national, but the government allows you to get a job with your SSCE, high school living certificate. So you see that most jobs, you don't have to have a PhD except you are in academia. So if you're in academia, yes, your PhD would fly and maybe your papers that you've written. But I don't know about all other fields. Jobs that you can get with high school living certificate or your BSc. So the two is still it's very dependent on you. If you do early childhood education as a PhD, be ready to link and network. Maybe when you go for seminar, when you go for conferences outside Portugal, be ready to link and network. Maybe you can get a lecturing job after. Because to get a teaching job, you need to get a Portuguese teaching license and you need to know Portuguese. If you do PhD in management, yes, you will have your PhD in management. You still need to link up to work in managerial. Not because of your PhD, you just get work like that because of your PhD. There's always a starting point. Did they start with a BSc? Can you speak Portuguese in the managerial post that you want to, or do they need just English speaker? So I want to tell all of us, we will still need to shed. See, IT guys, IT bros have the highest luck I have seen around. And some people that work in management, yes, they get jobs in like Deloitte or KPMG or all those other big companies, but they had to mix first. They had to go to the school, they had to go to career week and all of that to be able to get all those links. Or by God's grace, people like to use that a lot, and I like to follow them to use it too. So that is it. So that you have a PhD does not mean anything. You still need to work hard to be in the field and stay in the field that you want to stay. So choose one. Do I want to do early childhood or do I want to do management? If you do early childhood, you need to work with kids, right? So you need to come here and learn Portuguese so that you can work with kids. Or you learn another European language so that you can go there and work with kids. So those are your options. I believe that I can answer that question and we can move to another question. If you're not satisfied, you can tag me on the group and I will explain more. Islamia has a question. How does the POF work for a family? How long does it stay in the account? Reverend, can you answer this one?
Okay. So you said, how does POF work?
Yes, how does POF work for a family? How long does it stay in the account?
Okay. Sorry. The POF. Okay. Let me just take it like this. When one wants to travel, you just need to begin to build your account early. Or you need to begin to just put money there, remove it, remove. I believe you understand what I'm talking about. Just begin to run it. Don't make it the exact time. Like, okay, oh, I'm leaving in October, so October I put money on hotel. At least, if possible, 2 3 months to the time. Let some serious activities be taking place there. Then also, as regarding POF, I believe definitely we have ideas of this already. There are some monies that we just, okay, as I said, running the account, paying, come out, and all that. Then also there are monies that can be locked in an account. Banks do it, you just lock the money there, you don't have access to it, things like that and all that. That's how the thing works. And for people, I think 4 to 6 months proof of funds is what is always requested. 4 to 6 months of funds is always requested. But just begin to run it early enough, the account, and also the money can be locked in the account. So I think that's what I can say on that. For instance, when we were coming to Portugal, I think my own account, at least about maybe 30 or 30 was what was the proof of funds. And for the organization, I think about 50. So that's like almost like 80 million. I have a family of, we are a family of four. So for a single person, you may need to be showing at least like 25 million to 30 million of activities. So that's what I can say.
Okay. Um, Thank you, sir. I know that there is somebody on the group. He's also here in Portugal. He always explained this POF. He has said it a million times from what I know. Make sure we even said it yesterday. Somebody showed the Beijing visa requirement, which says 6 months in the account. The Nigerian one did not really explicitly say anything, but some people said 3 months. So let's say between 6 to 4 months. Let's just say peradventure. We don't want to make sure. So let's say that 6 months. So from now, maybe to 6 months, December, September, you are putting in money and showing that your money is moving, except it's a fixed account. So you're putting in money, you are showing that the money is moving, or you're putting in money there and you are explaining that this is my savings account. I'm just dumping money there. And for single people, this is what I ask you to calculate. I usually calculate it in euros because you are coming here to use it in euros. If you have your tuition is 7,000 and you've paid 2,500 out of it, it will remain what? 5,000 or 4,500, right? Make sure you have 4,500 in your account. It might, I don't know if it's gonna be yours, but it has to be some your proof of fund, substance, something that can sustain you, your proof of sustenance. So 4,500, the rest of your tuition, and you calculate the living expenses for 12 months. So if living expenses is 820 or 900, multiply by 12, you dump it there. That makes so much sense. That has never failed me when I do Schengen visa, when I do anything, it has never failed me. The only time it failed me was Canada, and I know Canada is stubborn. So calculate it like that. And if you are doing family, I've heard that you should do for the dependent, you do half of that. So if you are doing 900 for yourself, maybe you do 450 for dependent. I have heard. I never experienced it. So you still need to do your own research. And if you go to the WhatsApp group, there are pinned documents on this the WhatsApp group. I'm going to bring somebody. Some people are requesting to come online. I guess it's because they live in Portugal. Please, if you don't live in Portugal yet, please don't ask to come online, please. So I'm going to try to invite them, and I'm going to invite the person that knows about this POF. He's busy right now, but he will join. Let's move to the next question. Next question is from TMJ. It says, Sir, please, why did you leave Aveiro to Esterajo? Is that how to say it? Because my school is in Aveiro. So to guide me on where to live when the time comes. Okay.
Okay, it is Estareja. Estareja. That's it. So, and I think the Portuguese will pronounce it Estareja. Estareja. So, don't worry, you get to know these things more. So, let me just go to answering the question. So, when we got to Portugal, the first place we stayed for like I think 3 months was no, not 3 months, like 4 months was the place known as Costa Nova. Costa Nova is just about 10-12 minutes by road from Aveiro itself. It's a tourist place. I think I've posted the pictures of Costa Nova to us on the WhatsApp group before. Stayed there, and after a while we came to stay in Aveiro because we felt Aveiro was like, oh, a city. Costa Nova is just like a tourist area which is filled with beach and maybe lagoon, blah blah blah. So we stayed in Aveiro, and we tried looking for jobs. As I said, my wife, myself, looking for jobs, but we're not really able to secure jobs, and we just looked at it. Oh, um, they do say health is wealth, but please, money too is life. Money is life. That's on a lighter note. Anyway, so we just look. Let us move towards Porto. So really, we wanted to go to Porto. We couldn't get a house in Porto. We were considering Espinho, considering Over and Essaheja, but as God will have it, we got a place in Essaheja. And God so good. Even the second day we got to Essaheja, the second day, my wife was called for a specific job. So coming to Essaheja, really, it was more. about the job opportunities, more about the job opportunities. Aveiro is a very beautiful place, very lovely place and all, but I don't know. I'm online now. It is not as easy as we may think to secure jobs in Aveiro, and that's because of the rigidity they have about language, blah blah blah, and everything. So as I said earlier, it is easier to secure work in industrial area than official areas, because for you to work in an office, you need to understand the language. But you can work in an industry, a company. They call it fabric here. Fabric. That's what they call it. You can work in a fabric without understanding the language. You can be a cleaner without really understanding the language. So in a nutshell, it was diversity, more opportunities of job that brought us here. So I hope I answered the question of the person who asked.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. I think it's still the same. Settle in your school first. Stay there for about 2 months or 3 months. Then you will start knowing where to move to. You understand? Even I'm here 2 years, I'm always still thinking about moving somewhere else from Lisbon. So just wait a little bit. Just come in first and worry about that later. The next question is for someone that lives in a different country from his partner, how can they both move together as they have to apply for the visa in different country? This one I don't know. Who can help us? This
Let
I
me
don't know.
let me give an answer. Then probably you could also, maybe to give you an idea to what you say. But let me just say something. Okay, imagine the couple, they want to move to Portugal. Imagine the husband is in Nigeria and the wife is maybe in Kenya, or the wife is in uh let me see another country to pick. Maybe the wife is in South Africa and they both want to come. They can do it in two ways. They can do it in two ways. Number one, the husband can apply from Nigeria while the wife also applies from South Africa or Kenya to Portugal. Or both of them, maybe the wife comes back to Nigeria, or the husband goes to meet her in South Africa and they apply from there together. Then also it depends on what they are applying for. Probably the husband is applying as a student, or the wife is applying as a student, or the husband is applying as an entrepreneur and the wife is applying to come and support. Because, for instance, as a person, I said it here on this platform that I applied to come and establish an organization I already have in Nigeria, in Portugal. My wife applied to come and support me in establishing the organization in Portugal. The same with my children who were all in Nigeria. I believe I could have applied in Nigeria and she too probably would have filed from maybe another country. Or, as I said, we both just do it from one specific place. I hope you are getting the idea. So they can meet at a place, do it together, or just do it from different nations. But the purpose for which they are going there must be spelled out. Maybe the husband is going as a student, the wife too wants to go as a student. So that's what I can say about that.
Question. Now, because I don't know yet. I don't know how it works. So hopefully we can find somebody. But when we think about it with like common sense, if you want to apply from different countries, you can, for example, that live in Asia. I've gotten a lot of questions from people that live in Thailand, Vietnam, and stuff that their spouse is applying from Nigeria. You can go to the embassy in that country if they have one, and ask them because if you ask them that if your wife is applying from here, do you just need to gather the documents and show them that you want to go and support her or what? Or I don't know. So this question is a very tricky one until I meet somebody that I can convince and has done it before to answer this question for us, right? So please keep your fingers crossed and go ahead with your admission first, and let's see how this plays out. I don't know. I am very glad to say that I don't know. I don't want to give you information that is not correct. So let's go to Simon. Simon said, I've been given admission at Ishte. I have also paid my full tuition fee. I am waiting for admission offer in 2 weeks' time. Congratulations. I don't know where that question is going to, but if it's an information, you're welcome. Congratulations on your admission. And the next one is between family reunification and using a Schengen visa. Which is preferable for a spouse and 3 children to use to join me? This is your question, TMJ. You want to put us in trouble. We are online though. Because what do you mean by this question? Reverend, take over this question, please.
Okay, between family reunification and Schengen visa, they are both options. It's just like the question that I just gave an answer to. At times you look at options on ground and you just look at it that, oh, it's like this one is a better option or this one is more readily available to me. So you can use a Schengen visa, you can use family relocation. And I want you to know that family relocation can only be used by a couple which one of the spouse already has a resident card and maybe proof of activities, whether educational, business, employment, whatever, in Portugal. So I believe you know that already, that's when family reunification can be done. Schengen visa can also be used, but so far there is somebody who has a card. For instance, I know there have been challenges there have been challenges people have been facing of recent, that maybe getting dates for family reunification, blah blah blah, and everything. So far, there is one of the couples, one of the spouses in Portugal that has a card. Nothing is wrong in maybe the other spouse coming as a tourist, and one way or the other, maybe by the use of legal whatever, or calling, or there are some other things now. I don't know, some call it yellow book and some other options in Portugal, getting a date for the wife. So far, one of the spouse has a card, already has a card. Please note that, so that you won't say that Reverend said that they should just come in as a tourist, and it is still maybe that same reunification that will be done, or one way or the other, an appointment will be gotten for that spouse. So reunification is an option. Schengen visa is an option. If there are no dates for reunification, there is nothing wrong in using the Schengen. So that's what I can say about that. At least my family and myself, we didn't come in with reunification. We came in with Schengen visa. So that's what I can say.
So I think the same question is what Samuel is also asking about how to join tourist visa or family reunification. That question, I will always keep it because I don't know anything about it. So you can go with Reverend's answer, but please know that within the time the person comes in, the second spouse comes in, the person is also, even if you apply for reunification, they cannot really work without the permit. So they also need to wait to get the NIS, the NIF, the SNS, get an appointment for permit, and also be able to work after getting the permit. So this spouse that is coming in later, please be patient with the spouse that is already inside. Don't be unkind to your spouse because it might take longer than 2 months or 3 months. Be ready to support, be ready to be patient, be ready to be kind. Don't think that because your wife is now working, you don't dey get upper shoulder, or that your husband is now working, doesn't he's not even helping at home. Do you understand? It has to be cooperation, because it's not like job we jump on the person's laps immediately if they come in through that route. So that's just what I wanted to add. Somebody also asked, I'm trying to apply to University of Algarve, but they are saying for tax number, what should I impute there? If it is usually it's not compulsory, but if it is compulsory, some people say you should put your tin, and some people say you should put your nin. But you need to you need to in University of Porto, if you want to put tax number, it shows that you have to choose the country of that number. So if you put your nin or your tin, of which I go with tin, because tin in Nigeria is tax identification number, nin is your national identification number, and NIF here is your tax identification number. So if you want to put any of those, you need to you know how you will do it, right? So let's just ask this question again in the group. If you're on the in the group, then they will answer you. Try to put your name if it will work. The next question is, I am supposed to resume school by September 15, 2025. My question is, can I resume by October ending? Will there be any problem resuming then? There is no problem if you're still within your 120 days. So TMJ, this is my answer. There's no problem if you are still within your 120 days. You need to come in within that 120 days. Don't come in after the 120 days, though. It will be stated on your visa. So you need to come in within that 120 days. But the only thing is that you might, if your school start lecture by September, you might miss some the first week things. You understand? You might miss some group activities, you might miss some group creation, of which if you miss group creation and you don't have a group as a black person, I don't know. I'm so sorry. I cannot help you. So please try to resume as fast as possible. But there's nothing wrong with resuming late. I resume late, but I had to do an extra year. So just know that one. Um, Simon is saying, I've been given admission to Ishte. I've paid my tuition. Please, I would like to know what is the next step. I'm waiting for admission letter. Simon, please, you need to do your legalization if you have not done it. Please go ahead and do your authentication and legalization. Once they give you the admission letter, they will also give you a declaration letter that you will add to your document. Then you will take it to the embassy for the visa application. Okay, so that is the next step. I don't know if you can still hear me. Somebody asked again. Also adding to my question, what documents are required for a 4 month POF? I think. Reverend, is there any document? I think somebody has posted this document in the group already.
Okay.
Is
Mm.
there a document for them?
Or except from the 4 months proof of funds.
Because I don't know. This question is not complete. It just say required for a 4 month. I don't know what they mean by 4 months. So I'm
May-
guessing it's POF.
and maybe we can skip it.
Okay. So somebody said Jackie is asking, do kids require NIS and other documents as well?
Yes, everything adults require, kids also require. So
Okay.
one of the first things they will ask you when your children are to go to school, they will ask you for their NIF, they will ask you for their niece. So they need it too. And
They
as
need it.
I've said repeatedly, my children had their NIF even before leaving Nigeria.
So that is it. You know the options of the NIF. If you're sure you've gotten admission and you're ready to go for visa application, you know you can talk to Reverend about NIF. I'm not sure about NIS though. And so this question is, what documents are required for a 4 month old baby? Birth certificate, of course. Um, Reverend. So we have the complete question now. What
Okay.
documents are required for a 4 month old baby?
Okay. The documents required for a 4 months old baby, their birth certificates, their passports, and also just a proof from the parents that they can take care of the children. I think those are the basic things. I mean, take care of that child. Those are the basic things that you need for the child.
So this question for the 4-month-old baby question, please, if you're on the WhatsApp group, please tag us again and ask this question. Um, Somebody says, secondly, I would like to shed more light on POF and how many month bank statements are required. Please, we've already answered this question. Please plan. We tried to look at the VFS Nigeria document yesterday. We didn't see, I don't think we saw the amount of time there. But on the group, they said plan 4 to 6 month statements so that you will be in the know. Some people say 4 months, some people say 3 months, some people say 6 months. So we're just saying generally, of which this is not official, just plan that. Or you can ask again in the group, or you can call the Portuguese embassy in Abuja to ask them, or you go to their website and download whatever document you see there. So they've always asked this question and we've been answering it. So the next question is, please, can you bring me up? I just want to say something. Mr. J Blues, I've been trying to reach you. You are not replying me. So I don't know how to bring you up if you are not replying me because I need to send you a guest link. Number three question for Simon is, I'm about to start my authentication and legalization process. When is it appropriate to submit my visa application? My program commences on 8th September. If you have gotten admission and they've given you admission letter and you are in process of legalization, once you finish your legalization, pack all your documents, including your POF, and go and apply for your visa, please. That is it. That's the main thing. Go and apply for your visa. If you get to visa office and they now tell you that it's too early, how is that their problem? So far it's 120 days to resumption. They can give you visa. So once your school has given you admission letter and the declarasao, I think you can go and apply for your visa. All right. Nelly's question: can I get my NIF before coming in? If yes, what is the procedure and we need to go through? Reverend, do you want to answer this question for Nelly on the group or here?
Well, I'm going to answer the question now. So a NIF can be gotten before getting to Portugal. You don't have to wait until you get to Portugal. And I said it, I applied for visa even with I not that I got it after getting visa. I applied for my own visa even with the NIF there. So I believe that having a NIF is even a proof to the government that you are really, really interested in the country and in what you want to come and do here. So that's just some people may say, oh, wasted investment, wasted whatever. There are different answers to different things, and the way each of us see things differ. So you understand, I have a number of people that have their NIFs. Any day they want to come to Portugal or any day they get into Portugal, they can begin from any point. So getting your NIFs is not a difficult process. I have a lawyer who can do it within um 24 hours. But as I said, within just because of human factors, I will just say, okay, 3 to 5 days, and you get your NIF. And really, that was the person who helped me to do my own. So I know this person personally, and I am virtually giving the same amount that this person charge because I am ready to be of help to people. So if there's anybody who is interested in getting the NIF right now, I don't know, am I permitted to mention it or we leave that?
Please leave that
Let
on the
me let
group,
me just
please.
leave that for now. So
Leave that on
the
the group.
details will be communicated maybe on the WhatsApp platform, but it is something that can be done within 3 to 5 days. All you need is just your passport and a proof of your address, maybe your statement of account, maybe a NEPA bill paid in your name. That is all, and you get your NIF.
So that's it. Please absolutely get it if you think you need it. Not because Reverend is saying it to Reverend. No, I don't think he needs your money. Oh. Please make sure that you really need it. You already got an admission. You are coming to Portugal. or you have that much faith in yourself that you're really coming, please don't get anything that nobody's forcing you to get anything. Please note that, okay? And also, what is the process of getting a family accommodation? What are the requirements? Reverend, would you like to tell us this one?
Ah, there is nothing big in getting family accommodation. The important thing is the important thing is your money. So far you have your money, you get family accommodation. But I think husband and wife basically, and maybe a child. I think the Portuguese prefer you to stay in like a bedroom apartment. When you begin to have like two, three children, they prefer you to have like T2, like that's a two-bedroom, so far you have your money, you get accommodation for your family, and maybe I can just mention one of the reliable apps in Portugal. OLX is very, very reasonable. I know people talk of Idealist app, but to me, I prefer OLX because their prices seem fairer, and at least it's easy to contact the people that you are chatting with, unlike the other ones that they may not even respond to you and everything. So OLXPT, very, very reasonable applications for getting accommodation.
Right, so thank you. And some people also use uni places. I tell them to be
Yes.
very careful with uni places. Every one of these platforms, you need to be careful. Use your Lagos, Port Harcourt, Aba, use your Niger sense in everything. Like if you're having a second opinion, you're having a second opinion. So, and some people will request that you have. Sometimes they are weird in their requests, especially for flats and stuff. But maybe on OLX and Facebook Marketplace, they are not really very strict. But for Idealista, they will be requesting that you have the last year tax refund document, and they will be requesting that they want to see your pay slip. They be requesting, they have like weird requests. Sometimes I even ask them, I tell them that that's the invasion of my privacy. That they say, it's still with our requirement. But those are some of the things you might. And some people will say, if you don't have the document, you need to pay for 3 months rent or 4 months rent, which happened to me. It's my personal story. I had to pay 2 months or 3 months rent in the beginning because I was really desperate at that point. I was not having any place to go. So be prepared for that. But you can start looking at, I mean, if you can't use Facebook Marketplace right now because you still be putting you in Nigerian Facebook Marketplace. So if you are coming for the visa processing, some people say you should do booking.com or you do uni places. But if you do uni places, don't book more than 2 months because you might get there and you might not like the apartment. So don't book more than 2 months. So that when you come immediately, you start looking for something else. And make sure you book on uni places with a house that can go with you to do junta. That junta that we mentioned in the beginning of the call. So that you can get that residential document that will help you with your resident permit. Also, you can, when you come, if you do booking.com, just to lay your head for the first few weeks, right? Or you can do Airbnb if you are rich and famous. So there are so many options. There are so many options, but we want you to be careful and not get scammed. And also, somebody said, I intend to travel with my spouse. Can I use my brother as a sponsor?
Ah, if you excuse me, if you intend to travel with your spouse, I believe you can use your brother as your sponsor, since there is enough evidence to prove that he's your brother, that there's a relationship with you, and also since there is enough evidence to prove that he's financially capable to be a sponsor to you, there is nothing wrong. There is nothing wrong in it.
Okay. For this question, I've actually used a family member before and I had to prove the relationship. So with the statement, this financial statement, I put birth certificate that shows that we have parents. Do you understand? The same parent, that we are actually related. I put it as part of the document. So it could be something you should explore, even if it's your Even if it's your stepsister, Nigeria, or stepbrother, is common in Nigeria, right? You can still show that you have the same father or the same mother on on his birth certificate if he's going to give you that. So just make a copy of it and add it to the document. And also try to put some money in your husband's account, because your husband is the next person that should actually sponsor you after your parents. So please try to put some money in your account or your spouse account, but you can use your brother's account. This is just what I'm saying from maybe experience or something. Then let's go to the next question from Samuel. For a spouse joining the wife or husband later, what are the options to join? I think we already answered this question. And the person said, when a spouse joins, would it still take about 4 to 6 months to get a resident permit? When your spouse joins, is joining as a tourist. So you still need to get all of the documents. You need to get NIF, you need to get NIS, you need to get an appointment. And these days, most people stick to lawyers to help them get that appointment. These days. So you need to get an appointment. So that will take months. So prepare down before you come. Have some money. Okay? Because we don't want you to suffer also. So please have some money. At least wait till your this spouse number one already has a job and has worked like 3 months, so that they know that that job is at least stable, so that that person's job can be the one feeding the family for the next few months. God can do it. You might get it in 1 month, 2 months. We believe in miracles, but we still believe in reality too. Okay. So that's just my take on that one. The next question is from Favor. For a student that has a student resident card, is the reunification of Schengen visa effective with the expected months? What expected months? As a master student, I think they give 2 years on your permit, or 1 year. I think they used to give 1 year. Now they give 2 years. I can't really remember. I don't know. I don't work in IMA. So whatever they give, you're already coming, you're already in Portugal. You will be the one trying to ask questions on the main group in Portugal on how best to, go about this. Okay. But coming first, when you come in first, you know the best to do. Because for me, I'm not going to, I will not say it online that I support Schengen visa and you are now switching to something else. Because your Schengen visa was for tourism and you were supposed to visit and go back home. So don't mind my harshness. I'm just trying to follow the law. So questions like this are really not that easy to answer because we are not officials. We are just people making YouTube videos. Okay? So please don't, if you want to ask something like this, maybe keep it in the group and answer. Maybe we can shed more light there. Okay? And also for each day, I was given the declaration letter only. I wasn't given an admission letter, though I requested for an admission letter. You can ask them, Favor, you can ask them why they don't want to give admission letter. I don't know what they actually give in each day. Maybe the declaration letter says that you are now a student. Did you read the content of the letter? If it says you are now a student, your declarasao or declaration letter is one of the documents you need to apply. It's also a good document. If you are not a student, you will not get declaration letter. So just write them an email and ask them, is declaration letter same as admission letter? Because in your own country, this is how you understand it. And they are always ready to explain. With that declaration letter, I remember that I added it to my document to apply for visa. I don't think I got an admission letter. I'm not very sure I did. So admin, this is from Islamia. I have already applied to University of Lisbon, but my application is not showing the face, e.g., phase one or phase two. Please, what should I do? I don't want to waste the application fee. Islamia, please tag me on the WhatsApp group. If you're not on the WhatsApp group, send me a message on my Instagram and I will add you to the WhatsApp group. This one, we need to check what is going on with your application. All right. So what else? Jeb Blush, I've been looking for you. Are you available now, please? Can you tell me if you're available? I need to send you a link. I'm waiting for him to give us a response if he's available. I feel like he has a lot to offer us. So any other somebody said rich and famous. Yes, Airbnb is for rich and famous, please. I don't want to say something else. Um There is no other question. I think we've answered almost all of the questions, but we're for Jeb Lewis. I think he has something to offer, but I don't know. He has not added me back. Let me check. Oh yeah, okay. So let's wait for him. Anybody has any other question that we've not answered? And I don't know if people want to speak. If you want to speak, let me know. If you want to speak, let me know. I can invite you as a guest and you can speak for the last 10 minutes. If anybody wants to speak, let me know. Okay. Reverend, would you like to add something else? Something they are missing?
Let me see. Mm. I think we've had a very, very good time. And since they've asked their questions, I think we are good. Mm.
Okay. That's also good. Um, Waiting for somebody else, but I don't think he's available to be a guest. So, um, all right, give me a moment, guys. I think we have somebody that wants to join. Please give me a moment. Ah, okay, he's available now. Please give me a moment. Let me invite him. He's the one that talks about POF on the group. So give me a moment. Just a moment. Let me bring him on. 1 minute. So POF people, please wait behind. When he's here, we will see. Or maybe he also needs to download the app. I will just rephrase my question. As a student who has the residence card, can their spouse also join them through reunification? It's called reunification or Schengen visa within 6 months or more. I think the best way to say this is if your spouse wants to come through Schengen visa, this is the wisest thing to do. You need the person is coming to see somebody, right? Or they are coming to visit one monument. They need to have money. Number one, to show that they are a visitor. They need to have their own POF. And if they don't have money, they have you, right? So you as a student, I think it is better you already started working. You have a job and you have 3 months pay slip that the person can add to their application. I'm just saying. Because the people that I know that have done this, they show their own money in their own account in Portugal. And the other person coming from Nigeria on Schengen also showed money in his account before they could come in. So within 6 months is not something that is fixed. Within 6 months means that you already got your work permit. You're already working in a job. Maybe you have 3 months pay slip. And by job, I'm saying job that has fixed term contract or permanent contract. So that they will take you seriously that this person that is coming to have a spouse, can he afford to take care of the spouse on Portuguese paper? They don't care if you have 17 million naira or 150 million naira. That is in naira. So please, this thing we need to look at it very systematically. Maybe we discuss it more on the group. Favor, are you on the group? Please tag us with this your question again so that we can trash it properly. Mr. Adejarimola is here and is going to talk on POF. So we've had many questions on POF. Some people are asking how many months do they have? I'm sure you've said it plenty times on the group, but please help them again. And somebody is asking what documents should they have for the POF? Can my brother sponsor me if I'm married? You know, all those kind of questions. So can you help us, please?
All right. Can you hear me? Any?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. Good afternoon. Um, so the way you make me seem as if I'm an authority in POF matters is scary. But anyways, from what I know,
You are the latest person that I know that just came in fresh off the boat. So
I think we mentioned it. There was that conversation yesterday. So I think minimum should be 3 months, right? 3 months to the point where you want to apply for visa. So like when you apply in 3 months from be 3 months backwards, right? So yeah. So if it is self-sponsor, like agents will do for you. So that one I think is pretty straightforward. They just create an account, lodge money inside in your name, and then you just when you want to apply, you print out the statement and you just carry it along to VFS. But if it is somebody else wants to sponsor you, right? It could be in two ways. Either that person is just an individual using his own individual account. So that person will give you his account statements, right? And then a couple of other things like an affidavit, a letter, what else, what else, what else? I think those two, I think. One other thing I learned when I was trying to get myself here was that um, he also adds credibility to the narrative you are trying to spin. If that person's account, the person who is going to sponsor you, if you can use that person's account to make some payments like when your application fees, the initial deposit in the school, and all of that. So if you're able to do that, right, when you're applying for visa, you just print out all of those things and add to the documents. So if the person is sponsored, if you are getting sponsored by, like you're using a company account, then that one, I think for that one and even for individual self, you still need to get, aside from bank statements, you also get like a letter, certain documents from the bank. I think two other documents, aside from printing out the bank statements, you get those documents. I'll share on the group. I hope everybody on this call is on the group as well, so that when I share, you guys can see it. Yeah.
if you share it, I will save it for them. So maybe when they join, they will see it in the information group.
Oh, okay. So I always want to lean towards using like a company account, because with that one, if that account has like a regular inflow outflow, you don't have to have a lot of money in there. For me, as an individual, I think regular, you don't, when you do the calculation, it tends towards around, is it 10, 15 million or so. But the account that me I used, the balance at the point when I was printing out wasn't it wasn't more than 3 million, I think. But then it was like a normal business account. That store is like a stationery store where they have like a lot of daily transactions. So it was a lot. It was around 40 pages, I think. Yeah. So if you use business, it actually shows that, okay, so this is a business, they make money every day. So if you get to Portugal, they have the means to be able to, generate money and send to you on a monthly basis. So I think it's easier that way, because you can always get a business that, can have like a closing account balance of say 3 million, 4 million. Easier than looking for a person who has around 15 million, 20 million in his account. So yeah, all of those things, you just have the affidavit, the letter from that person, I think there are some of them that you have to notarize. Yeah. So once you put all of those things together, you are good to go. So minimum 3 months. If you want to make it look a bit more organic, like I always say, you can extend beyond 3 months. But I think 3 months is because for if you want to go with an agent will not do more than 3 months for you. So they always do 3 months. So yeah, and it works.
Okay. Anybody has questions for him? Please help us like this video. Please, can you please, the people on YouTube, can you please like the video? We only have 10 likes. Hey, Joe, can you? You're the one that said we should come to YouTube. Please, can you like the video, please? And subscribe, please. I'm begging you. Okay. So somebody said, so what are the best ways to get accommodation? I'm asking Adijari now, like, what are the best ways to get accommodation before coming or after coming?
Okay, so accommodation in Portugal here is a bit tricky. Like any knows and pastor as well. It's a bit tricky, right? So um I lost significant amount of money when I go into Portugal because of this. Uh, I think this is the first time I'm saying it openly.
Oh no.
Then I heard tales of people who lost money as well, similar to what happened to me. The same path that I treaded that led to me losing money, right? So what I would just
How
advise,
did you
just to
lose
cut it short,
money? Can you tell? Is it something you want to share? If you don't feel comfortable sharing, it's fine.
I'm not really, really
You don't
comfortable
want to
there.
share. You don't want to be. Yeah, it's okay. It's
But
fine.
then, let me put it this way. If you are coming to Portugal, for a visa application, you have to show that you have already accommodation in place that you move to once you get into Portugal. So that one is you just go to booking.com, book like a book accommodation for like a month or so, the one that you can cancel, right? So once you put all your documents together for a visa application, you send like 5 days after, because of course study visa takes I think 5 days to process at the embassy. So you just calculate. Once you send it, first day, second day, third day, you go and cancel on booking.com so that you don't lose money. Now, so that is for visa. Now, when you want to, you're thinking of where you are going to stay, when you get into Portugal. Like I said earlier, it's tricky. So what I'll just say is ensure that this community that you are in right now, and probably in other communities, please don't get what you want. Don't think I've gotten admission, I don't need them again, and you run away. You're still going to need community till you get into Portugal yourself. To settle into Portugal, you're still going to need this community. So when you see that your time is close, you can then start to reach out to people who are here already and see whether you can find somebody who's willing to help you, right? Who can help you get an accommodation. Now, if you don't get that, what I would suggest is use these booking platforms like booking.com. I think booking.com works well. You can always see options and see reviews and all of those things. Get like they have this dormitory style system here where you could find like a hotel, like a 1 star or 2 star hotel where you find small rooms that charge around say 10, 15 euros per night. Right? If you can afford it, you can book like 7 days or say max 10 days. Now, if that amount is too much for you, you can get something less. You'd have these large rooms where they'll put bunker beds. You know those beds that we used in secondary
Yeah.
school. Yeah. So you get something like that for relatively cheaper amounts. So you get into Portugal, at least you have a place to sleep and wake up. You're not so that you don't go and be sleeping in a metro. So you have a place to sleep and wake up. So when you're now in here, you can then start to look for accommodation yourself. You want to ensure that you find a place that is close to probably your school, right? And then you can go around, check yourself. So there's this place I would recommend, Idealista, right? Did I say Idealista? No, don't go to Idealista, please. What's the other one? Any? It's not-
Is it OLX
No, not even
or
Olex.
Uniplexes?
Unit places.
Uniplexes.
Did I say? Oh, I'm mixing things. It's Idealista. Please ditch unit places. That's why I lost money. Idealista. So just go
And
there.
Elisa is the yellow, right? The one that has the yellow app and
Yes,
the yellow
yes,
website. Okay,
yes. That
Idealista.
lemon yellow thingy. Yeah. So go there. You see a lot of options. You can actually talk directly. You can speak directly. You can chat directly with the people who listed the properties. So speak with them. Book appointments that you can go there physically and check. If you are somebody who is security conscious, although Portugal is very safe, but at least if you find somebody who you can drag along and so you go there, you go and check. Of course, you are new, who's been here before you, would always spot things that you might not probably see. So just go around check. Now, one thing you should do is because, like I was saying, tricky, there are fraudsters around. One thing you can do is like two things. One, ask for contract. Two, tell whoever owns the house that you are not going to pay until you park in. It is when you have your things inside your room that is when you now transfer the money to them. Don't give people money ahead. Don't pay and say, don't go to the place and then they give you key and then you pay and then you go and pack your things. By the time you get back, they might have changed the lock.
They would
Right.
have changed the lock, and I don't trust all. Let me not even say what I don't want to say.
So that's it about accommodation. You can get before you come, but if you get it before you come, the downside is that your money is reading and the accommodation is just there. But the upside is that, of course, when you come, you are just coming straight into where you have secured and then just continue your life. But it's always safe unless you know somebody, you have somebody on ground, probably your family or your close friend or so that can help you do all of that dirty work so that you can have like a soft landing. Fine. If you don't have, I think it's always better that you come here first, find a temporary place to, lay your head and then do all of the work yourself so that you can get a place that you actually prefer. It's your choosing, right? It's not something that was chosen for you and things like that. So yeah, hope I did not say too much.
Said a lot, which is also good for us. They have more questions for you. Let me see. Let's see. How much in transaction to and fro? When you said they should be doing transaction to and fro,
Oh, transaction to and fro.
like in that POF, like how much transaction to and fro?
No, regular things now. Like it depends on the business. If it's a business where they sell cement, so how much does the cement cost? How much does 5, 10 cement bags cost? So just regular, just inflow outflow.
So what they mean by to and fro, what I understand by it is that make sure that that account money is moving in. The customers they are paying to that account,
Yeah.
and you are also buying a truckload of cement from that account. They want to see moving in and moving out. Okay, so this is what I did. I had an account for savings and I had an account for my daily transaction, like buying food and stuff. The savings account had a hefty money, but there was no movement there. They suspected me. Oh. So what I had to do was when I went back to submit, I had started using that savings account to buy wosi wosi. I was using it to buy biscuits, something in the supermarket. So they were saying that it was a daily use, not just one stump account. So that's what we are saying. To and fro. So if you are getting money from your brother or from somebody, make sure that you don't dump a lump sum. If they dump 200, this is what one of my friends used to do. If person will collect 500K, oh, he will now divide it into three to return it back to me. So it doesn't look like you send 500K and you receive 500K again. guys, let's look at this. Put yourself in admission officer's shoes before you do that submission. Do you understand? So if anybody still has a question on this, I mean, we're open to answer it on the group. Sometimes we shout on the group, but you can shout back. It's also fine. Let's see also, like, how much interest. Also, can the dependent sponsor if they have a very active account? Yes. Adije, do you want to take this one? Because if the dependent is the wife or the husband and they have the money, you are a spouse. You are one in
Yeah, sure now.
everybody's eyes.
Even
Yeah,
that one
he's
makes
even
it,
the
it
best
makes it look
person.
a bit more organic yourself. It makes it more
Yeah.
realistic.
Yeah. So it
Like
makes
two
it
of you are
more
traveling, one person
realistic.
has money, one person has admission. You are doing it together. Now.
Yeah. Now it's fine. So sorry, Islamia, I want to answer your question, but there's no way to answer your University of Lisbon question because I need to see your application page. Do you understand? I need to see what is going on, why the admission phase one and phase two has disappeared. So I can't answer your question on YouTube live. So if you're not on the group, please let me know. Send me a message on Instagram and I will add you there. All right. And okay, it's not man now. Don't worry. Just come into the WhatsApp group. Um, Dominic, can you hear anything? You can forward if you're watching on YouTube, you can forward the button so that you can, because it's a live stream. So maybe you are stuck to where you cannot really hear anything. And you can come in through Riverside also. Maybe you can hear something. Chisom has a question on sponsorship. Can a sponsor use can a sponsor use about 22 million naira balance to sponsor someone on study visa? His account has a lot of transaction to Odogu Parara. Yes, they can. Yes, they can. But Adejoye, counter this. Do you think this person needs to prove the relationship between the two of them? Because one random person can't just sponsor.
Yeah,
What
sure.
do you think?
Sure. I did mention that. So that is very, very, very important. And that is I think I mentioned that the sponsor has to write like a letter also, letter of sponsorship, right? So it is within that letter that you actually
Yeah,
state what exists between the two of you. And you
yeah,
could even
yeah.
back that up. For example, if you say the person is your brother, right? You could just find like official documents to substantiate that claim aside from the letter. Aside from the
Exactly.
letter and the maybe affidavit or so, you need to like find something that is probably like birth cert
Birth
for the two of
certificate.
you
I've done it before.
or so. I don't know. Maybe you could even attach what's it if you have like family picture also, just to ensure that the people who review
Just to
your
ensure
application,
that the people review it, they know that you have love, you love each other to heaven and earth to give 22 million to each other.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you
Especially
are
with
step sibling, if you are step sibling, you probably have a birth certificate that shows either your mother or your father. So you do a photocopy and add it. If it's your uncle, you trace it very far. Go and find your mommy's birth certificate, your uncle's birth certificate to show that they are related, and your own birth certificate that shows your mommy's name. Do you guys get it? I know you can't respond to it, but can somebody say yes or no to this, our explanation? So we know that you are getting it. Okay. Is there any other questions? We spent 1 hour, almost 2 hours. In 8 minutes, I'm going to end the live stream. So if you have not joined the group, this is my Instagram. I cannot post the link on YouTube, WhatsApp link on YouTube. I know people do it, but I don't want to do it. So add me on Instagram, follow me on Instagram, and I will give you the link. If you're not following me, it's going to show you as guest, and I won't see your message for a long time. Maybe for 20 years. Instagram is going to hide your message. So if you're following me, yes, I will definitely see your message on time. So please help me. And please, if you have not liked the channel on YouTube, please just put a like. I think after 2 hours, we only had 10 likes and at least 40 people joined this live. I mean, I'm not charging you 160,000 naira to join WhatsApp group. Oh. I'm just asking you to like the YouTube channel, right? So please help me, help me, help me. Yeah. So any other questions? We are almost done. Any other? Thank you very much, Adijare. Thank you very much, Reverend Daniel. I don't know if Jeb Lewis is the same person. I have not been able to reach that person because for me to bring you as a guest, I need to send you a guest link. And I don't know how to send you a guest link. So that's why I was not able to invite you this time around. So I don't know. Maybe next time we plan this properly, I will be all dressed. But this was an emergency meeting. But at least we can invite guests that don't want to show their faces now. This is established. So if people don't want to show their faces and they still want to come on the show, it is easier to bring them in. And this one can link to Instagram, it can link to Twitter, and especially YouTube. So, any other question? I think we're done. Please, if we are done, say bye bye to us one by one so that we know we are done with the questions for today. You can say bye or thank you for today, then we know we are done. Let me see how many people are on YouTube. So on YouTube, we have 26 people, and on Riverside, we have 10 people. So if you are done, thanks everyone. Just say thanks everyone, and we're good. Okay? We're not seeing anybody. Thank you, Favor. Thank you very much. I might not be able to answer all your questions today, but please text us in the group and we'll be able to answer your questions when we are in the mood. Sometimes we are not in the mood. But we're always trying to help. Okay. All right. Somebody has a question before we go. This is Ify. Please, I have a question. Can a younger one that's not in Nigeria use a statement of account to sponsor our elder one? She comes in place in sponsorship. Adijare, is that possible? I think it is.
Yes, sure now.
Yes, Ify, the same thing we said, right? So just prove your relationship. The person will write a letter of sponsorship. I think they posted it on the group before. They posted a sample. They'll write a letter of sponsorship and you can add birth certificate to show that people are siblings, or picture self. You know how we do it. Most people that move to the US, to the UK to meet their spouse, that's why they're always having YouTube channels. It's not because they want to have YouTube channel. They need to show the US government that they are very in love. So you too you should also do that. You should make sure you have a birth certificate. One last question from TMJ. Please, how is the explanation letter like? Is it compulsory requirement for visa application? What is explanation letter? Do you mean the POF, TMJ? I think they left us though. TMJ, do you mean the POF, explanation letter? Josh says, what's the best to prove ties to your home country for Portugal visa period? Please, this is not Canada, Josh. Please, this is not Canada. What do you mean by ties? Josh, I think you are on the WhatsApp group. Let's talk about this, your ties in the WhatsApp group. Please, this is not Canada. Don't let them come and infect you with bad ideas. Dominic, you just joined the meeting. Do you have any questions? Thanks, everyone. We continue in the group. God bless you all. Yes, thank you. Unwai Kuku. Sorry, I don't know how to say your name properly. You can teach me in the group. Thank you for coming on the live. Dominic, sorry that you missed the live. It's going to be there on the YouTube channel. It's 2 hours long. So I'm also going to post it on Spotify. So you can always listen to it as you are moving on the road. So you don't have to watch it on the channel. I'm going to put it there's a Jackpot Nation Spotify channel actually since 3 years ago. I've been using it since I was in China. So I'm going to post this on it today so we can have some more views on that. So you don't have to watch videos every time. You can just listen while you're doing other things. So it's going to be there. Okay. All right, Reverend, I think we are good to go. Thank you very much, sir. And if you still want to do your NIF, if you feel like you feel the need to do your NIF, please reach out to him. He has a lawyer, a legit lawyer that can help you, okay? And it doesn't cost a arm and a leg like I've heard that some people do. So thank you very much, everybody, for coming. Please, if you have not followed the channel, please follow our YouTube channel. We are almost at 1,000, just about 100 subs left. And please like today's video. Thank you very much for everything. I'll close the streaming now. Reverend, please say bye-bye to them if you're still there.
All right. I wish everyone good luck and bye.
Thank you
Ciao.
very much, sir. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.
Mhm.